Hi, my name's Dakota. I'm a Rangemaster certified instructor and I run the San Diego chapter of A Girl and a Gun. Today, we're going to dive into a super important topic, concealed carry safety. Whether you're new to carrying a gun or a seasoned concealed carrier, handling your firearms safely should always be a top priority. Let's start with holsters. A safe holster is the foundation of responsible concealed carry. If you haven't already, check out our previous video on choosing a safe holster. It's a great place to start. Briefly, there are 3 key things to look for in a holster. The first one is trigger guard protection. We want the trigger guard to be completely covered by the holster to prevent accidental discharges. The second thing is retention. Your gun should stay securely in the holster even if you unexpectedly sprint or have to do some burpees. Your holster should also stay securely attached to you without the risk of it falling off your belt or your body. Lastly, your holster should allow you to reholster without muzzling yourself. Now let's talk about administrative handling. Administrative handling refers to any time you're handling a loaded firearm without the trigger being protected, while you're not planning to shoot it. Some folks watching this video might be thinking, well, hey, I do that twice a day. Every morning when I take my gun out of the safe and put it into my holster, and every night when I take it out of the holster and put it back into my safe. Well, if you're carrying a gun 365 days a year, and you're administratively handling the firearm twice a day, that's over 700 opportunities a year for you to have a negligent discharge in your house. We do not want the tool we're using to defend our life to be the thing that takes our life or the life of someone we love. Every time you handle your firearm, there's a chance for an accident. So make sure you're doing it for a necessary reason. Personally, I keep my gun in the holster and store the entire holstered gun in the safe. If you must take a loaded firearm out of a holster at home, always make sure you're pointing it in the safest possible direction, that you keep your trigger finger high and away from the trigger and the trigger guard, and that you avoid distractions. Stay focused on the task until the firearm is safely stored. This brings us to the difference between storage and staging. Storage means securing your firearm in a locked location when not in use, like a safe. Staging means keeping your firearm loaded and ready to use if needed. Staging is often done in an area that's easy to access, like a bedside lockbox. Now, some folks, myself included, enjoy practicing dry fire from the comfort of our home. However, this has to be done in a very specific way in order to ensure that we aren't flippantly taking unnecessary risks that could injure or kill someone. First, we want to be sure we can focus on the task at hand and remove any distractions from the area, such as putting cell phones on silent and having a specific safety protocol that you follow every time. Next, while pointing the muzzle in the safest possible direction, we'll want to remove all sources of ammunition from the firearm and ensure that the firearm is completely unloaded. We'll also want to be mindful to remove any sources of ammunition from nearby. Once you've done these safety checks, you may want to use a tool like a barrel block or a chamber flag to have a visual reminder that the firearm has been emptied. We always want to double check any magazines on our person to ensure that none of them have any ammunition. Our first dry fire trigger press should always be in the safest possible direction we can have in our house. For me, that is a stack of books or sideways into my bookshelf. Safety should always come first when carrying a concealed firearm. Choosing a quality holster, reducing unnecessary administrative handling, and properly storing or staging your firearms are all important to being a safe and responsible concealed carrier. If you're looking for more resources on concealed carry, safety, and best practices, go to the Learn drop-down menu at PHLsterholsters.com.